You are now listening to Mike's Opinion, Logic Unleashed.
That's right, Logic Unleashed. You are now tuned into the Mike's Opinion Podcast. Thank you so much for listening. It is season 5, y'all. That's right, we reached season 5. We're all the way here. This is the first episode of season 5. Switching up the format just a little bit and let y'all know what's coming. I got a special treat for y'all in this episode. Y'all know you like her. You know you love her. I love her, and I get to touch her. You want to know who? That's right. My wife is joining me on this episode, and this is her episode, really, because it's all about retrograde. I don't know what the fuck that is, but she's going to tell us what it's about. And I'm going to chime in. We did like a little bit of research. This is impromptu because you know I got to twist her arm. She's going to say when she get on that I don't have to. She needs to be invited. But we got a lot of shit going on. You know, wife holds it down. But this is season 5, episode 1. Spread the word. Tell everybody you know. And some strangers too. Just walk up and say, yo, have you heard the Mike's Opinion podcast? Also got the link to some merch coming up. Check the show notes. Get your t-shirt, your Mike's Opinion Podcast t-shirt. We got more of those coming up too. Gonna do some giveaways too. They coming, y'all. We're growing the show. On that note, please support the show. Like, subscribe, follow, comment, share, do all of that. I appreciate you. And if you got a little change in your pocket, go ahead, check out the show notes. Venmo, Cash App, PayPal. Also, there's a link to GoFundMe out there. Fund me, please. I need new microphones. Y'all know that. Y'all know that audio could be better. You know what I'm saying? Shouts out to Joe Budden and them. They got a new studio. Huh? I just need a new microphone and a new computer. You know what I'm saying? I ain't throwing no shade. No, you know, I'm big ups to them boys. They doing it big. I appreciate them. And all the other podcasters out there. But I'm switching up the format. This is an introduction to the show that will be coming up momentarily. But I just want to say thank you to everybody that listens, that follows, likes, and subscribes, and does all of those things. I truly appreciate your support. Please continue to do so. To my first time and long time listeners out there, I do appreciate y'all. No doubt, no diggity. The episode coming up, I mentioned retrograde. I'm not going to get too deep into it because the episode is coming up. But if you want to know why you feeling funky or why that coworker is on some crazy shit, listen to this episode. It might have something to do with the planets and the stars. So sit back, or not if you're driving. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully you're in a relaxing place. If not, pay attention to what you're doing. But keep your ears open. Keep your mind open. I appreciate you listening. And coming up in just a few seconds, my wife, the lovely Nina Christina, who I love dearly, will be joining me, and we'll be talking about the Mercury retrograde, a little bit on astronomy and what retrogrades are. It's going to be a really interesting episode. So stay tuned. Sex episode. And have we done another episode?
We did
another one, didn't we?
Gay part 2.
Gay part 2.
R. Kelly
Don't
episode.
Miss that one.
The second R. Kelly
R.
episode.
Kelly episode part 2.
And maybe one
Shout outs to Kels. Oh.
No, boo.
Maybe, but you know, my wife is a hard person to get a hold of, even though we live in the same house. She got shit going on, and then she just retired her generals. I'm not going to, she plays this game, Ebony, what's the name of it? Ebony, and she was deep in it, y'all. Yo, she got pen pals from across the pond. They sending birthday cards. I'm like, yo, when my wife go to the store, I gotta make sure she's coming back, because she might be copping that flight. No. You gonna leave me?
Never that.
Never that. You heard it. I got it. It's recorded. She said never. But welcome to the Mike's Opinion Podcast. I am joined by my lovely wife. As I said in the intro, this is season 5.
All the way live.
All the way live, season 5. But in total, I've got over 121 episodes. We're just a little over 2 years in. Please support the show. I know I keep saying it. I hate to say it, but you got to say it because people just don't, listen. It's free for you to listen, but it is not for me free to make this show. So please support the show, please, any way you can.
Cha-ching.
Cha-ching, like, follow, do all of that. But without further ado, how you doing, wifey?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
You're looking good.
Thank you.
Every day. Can't keep my hands off you.
I try.
You think I want you too much? Do I want to do you too much?
No, just right. You just right.
That's bull. No,
right.
hold on. You ain't got a front for the audience, yo.
What?
Because you just told me the other day, you think you're 17.
Well, you do. You do.
Walk around this motherfucker looking all delicious.
Okay.
My wife don't be wanting me to do it with me. I just want to let y'all know.
Lies.
Yeah.
Lies.
Anyway, this is not, we just had sex part 2. We need to do that.
Okay.
After we done knock some boots, come down and flip the mic on. You know what I'm saying? But this is your episode, really.
I have to wake up.
I tried to get my wife to guest host, and she's like, no. I am publicly extending you a formal. If you want to just vent, whatever you need, the Mike's Opinion podcast is yours. You can have the mic whenever you want to drop an ep. So, feel free to do that and guest host. If your subject you want to talk about, just do that. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So,
right.
But you knew that. You knew that. Don't act like you ain't know that.
Well, in the past, there have been episodes that I was very opinionated about.
Ooh, so you ever?
That's why I wrote my notes in my responses to your points. I had my bullet points.
You did. You did.
So that's why.
And my wife, you should have a doctorate. You should be a doctor. Cause let me tell y'all, and I know we're going to get you to retrograde. Y'all know, it's the retrograde. Y'all know I digress. Y'all know it. But my wife is I can't even say 10-star cook. Her cooking is the best. But when my wife is researching recipes, whatever, she has to transcribe. Matter of fact, I'm not going to say, what you got to do, but what you do? I'm never going to say it.
I copy down the recipe because then it is committed into my brain. So then when I execute the recipe, I already have some of it mentally. It's ready. The steps are there. I
cook. I print out the recipe. A lot of times, sometimes I've gone from the iPad. The iPad is dead. Please support the show, please. We don't have an iPad. We don't have no tablet right now.
It died.
My wife repaired it, but then it's not an easy situation. Anyway.
Battle scars.
If you got we don't know old ass iPad. I'm just, they say beggars can't be choosers, but we ain't begging. We need an iPad. We are of the Apple slice. There's iOS and Android camps. We iOS. But if you have an iPad, Christmas is coming. If you want to gift the show, Mike's Opinion Podcast, an iPad, shoot me an email. I'll shoot you the address.
Could be a mini.
I don't want no mini.
I don't mind a mini.
I need to see. I need large fonts.
Yeah.
See.
You need
your old man.
Glasses on.
Your old man is really an old man. So anyway, but she transcribes these recipes. I'm like, why are you writing this down?
I like writing things down.
Now hold on.
Pencil and paper.
See, I was just getting ready to get to that. Pencil. Okay. So it was my turn to make the Mexican bean salad. The only reason it's Mexican because they put cilantro in it.
No.
It's just 3-bean salad. That's what I like to call it.
Cumino and chili. It's not just cilantro.
Yo, you worse than me, yo. Whenever you say anything like it, Camino, why you try to sound like an essay?
That's how you say it.
Why you try to sound like an essay, yo?
It's not Camino. It's Cumino.
Okay.
Say it correctly.
But listen, so it was my turn to make it because I've been trying to help out, try to support my wife. A happy wife, happy life, right?
Do it very well.
Thank you. Say it one more time. What?
Do it very well.
Doing it well. Shout out to my man LL. You know what I'm saying? But, so I'm like, yo, where's the recipe? Well, how I need to do this? So she's like, look in the recipe post. She got a little neat. It's just so cute. Little cards, postcards, whatever, with the recipes on it. I'm squinting like a motherfucker because this shit is in pencil. I can't see this shit at all.
You grew up writing with a pencil just like I did.
I grew up writing with a pencil. I have gray hairs and glasses.
I have gray hair
now. Anyway, and you don't wear your glasses as much as you should. Anyway, but
I don't like crowd glasses.
Anyway, I'm struggling to read this shit. I'm holding it up to the light. I took it out of the little placeholder in her little recipe book. I'm like, I can't see this. I had to go get my glasses. Anyway, I got it done, and I did pretty good. It was pretty good.
Delicious.
Yeah.
Great.
Yo, Mexican bean salad, look it up. Dude, we try to eat healthy around this camp, and it's a summer dish for us. And it's got cilantro, comino, 3 types of beans, lime juice, lemon juice, olive oil. Yo.
It's delicious.
Still nutritious and delicious. But, I'm gonna go ahead and let you, kick this off. This was your idea for this episode. And I got some support and documentation here, but go ahead and break it down. What's the retrograde?
So let's talk about the retrograde.
First of all, hold on. I mean, interrupt. I'm sorry. What made you want to talk about the retrograde?
Well, during the retrograde, a lot of funky things tend to happen.
Yeah.
Right now, Saturn is in retrograde. There's actually several planets that are in retrograde. Okay. But mainly, Saturn is in retrograde. And it started in June. Started about June 2nd. And it's going on all this time and doesn't end until October 22nd.
Ah, okay.
So, if you are into astrology and things of that nature, then you already know what I'm getting at. If you've ever noticed how people's behavior change when there's a full moon, you can kind of make that comparison. So just imagine that we're having a full moon for months.
Oh, snap. Now, Mercury was just in retrograde, right?
Mercury was in retrograde.
Isn't that the supposed to be like the bad one?
Not as bad as this one.
Saturn is worse?
This is worse.
Okay.
And maybe it's not worse because of Saturn. Maybe it's worse because there are several other planets in retrograde at the same time.
Okay.
But like I say, you can compare it to having a full moon every day for several months.
Wow.
And basically, there's going to be a lot of chaos for certain people during this time.
Certain people now. Is it tied to like your astrology sign? Your sign. Uh-huh. Astrology is real. I think
it is real. It definitely is.
So we was in pre-production. We was in we had our pre-meeting. Yeah, we do that. Don't be surprised. We do prepare. But I was telling my wife, we were talking about, how planets affect us. And I was telling her, cause you mentioned the moon, right?
Yes.
And I said, that's a little more subtle, even though like police reports go up, like the tides are affected. These celestial bodies have a real effect on not only our planet, but us personally. And I told, I said one example I use that's just a clear, flat out, undeniable example is the sun. Think about how the sun, affects you. That shit will kill you.
Yes. I was out in the sun today.
Looking just spectacular.
I can go out in the sun for about 30 minutes, any more than that, and I will come back in hives. Now, when I get home, after being in the sun for a couple of hours, I am zapped. Sun zapped. The sun will zap all your energy.
But you come fully loaded on vitamin D, though.
I guess. Maybe that's vitamin D overload.
Maybe that's what that is. Cause my wife is I'm not even going to go into a physical description. If you listen to any episodes with my wife, an episode that I've talked about my wife, it is clear I am as deep as you can possibly get in love with another human being.
Like you trying to run away then.
Wow, what? Hold on. You caught me off guard with that shit. Where I'm going?
In every relationship,
babe, I hardly leave the house.
Is a runner and a chaser. You the runner.
First of all, you ain't chasing shit. You be like, bye, nigga.
You're the runner.
Bye. See you when I see you.
Not true.
Yo, my wife, I'll be like, can I see a picture? Yeah, actually, like, nope, I burned it. I was like, what? So, and those are the exes that's still alive. But that's for another episode. That's for another episode. But I ain't going nowhere ever. Okay?
All right. You heard it here first, listeners.
I'm pretty sure I said that before. Sometimes, I mean, you know, relationships, sometimes I want to choke the fuck out you, yes, but I never do. I'll never put my hands on you like that. So we've been together 12 years, you know, we married, like, so I just, you are the best. Give me a kiss.
You're the best.
Thank you.
You're the best.
But back to the retrograde, because people are like, ew, can y'all talk about the retrograde? So I have just a little something I wanted to read here, because, you know, I try to be informative. And I just want to let y'all know, we were talking about this because, you know, the show should have blew by now. It should have blown up. So I've talked to several friends and family, and they're like, yo, you talk too intelligently. You ain't smashing watermelons. You ain't like recording cricket farts. I refuse to dumb this show down. I'm not dumbing it down. I'm not doing it just for clicks. Even though I recently talked to my wife very recently about maybe I should get a disguise and go in the backyard and smash watermelons. That's what my daughter said I should do. So, but I'm not doing that. So I want to find the college crowd, the NPR crowd, the educated crowd. So please help grow the show. Please. I need your help. Grow the show. Anyway, so the term retrograde comes from the Latin word retrogradus, which is that how you pronounce that?
Yes.
Retrogradus, which literally means backward step. As the name suggests, retrograde is when a planet appears to go backwards in its orbit as viewed from Earth. Astronomers refer to this as apparent retrograde motion because it's an optical illusion. And I'll read more from that in just a minute. But, you know, so tell us more, beautiful wife.
Well, let's talk about the signs. So during the retrograde, if you a Taurus,
that would be me. Why are you picking on me? Why you all?
If you a Taurus,
here we go. Oh shit!
Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius, you're gonna feel it the most.
Oh fuck!
You're gonna feel it the most.
I'm hearing this just like for the first time, like y'all are. Why are you dropping bombs on me or live on air?
You're gonna feel the chaos the most.
So,
and I think you have already attested to that.
Do I need to apologize in advance? That's what you're saying?
No. Just life and the things that have been thrown at you.
Yo,
and you've been handling it very well.
My mind right
there. Yes.
Yo, if y'all knew, listen to the episode prior to this.
Yes.
The episode is entitled Stress. I'll just let you know. Yo, I've been getting hit with stress bombs, so it's so crazy.
Left
you just said that.
Right. That's why I wanted to talk about this retrograde.
Can we get the fuck out of retrograde?
Yeah, October 22nd.
Shit. That's a month from now.
We're gonna be all right.
We're gonna be all right. Shout out to Kendrick.
Yeah. So that's okay. Now you understand.
So let me ask you a question, and you may not know this, but is there opposite? Like, if all the bullshit is coming in retrograde, when the planets appear to be going backwards, when is the shine time? Can I get some good time? When's the good time coming? Is there an opposite to retrograde? I need to check that. I need to Google that.
My research says these particular signs are going to have a shift and start making big changes for the future.
Okay.
Right? So, Aries, Cancer, Libra, and Capricorn will feel it on a different level.
Okay.
So, those signs need to make changes in their social circles and financial.
Okay.
And then me, Virgo, Team Virgo, Gemini, Sag, and Pisces, we're not really going to be that affected.
That's great. That's just great. It's just all on us right now.
No, this Taurus will be more.
Thanks a lot.
More of a sign of, or a time of reflection and a time for us to implement structure. Which I'm doing.
Well, you grow and learn every day.
Yeah.
Our son had us learning about Greek numerals.
Greek numerals today.
Because my wife, who is a superwoman, she, you know, we homeschool our kid. And I say we very lightly. She homeschool our lovely, beautiful son. And I need to get him on another app.
Yes.
He's been wanting to do it. But, you know, when she's homeschooling, so I was walking by and they was talking about pi and what's some other ones?
Zeta,
iota,
yeah. Alpha, beta, which I always associated that with fraternities. Right. I thought that was the alphabet.
Right.
But they also use that in math. So we learned that today. That was a new one on me.
That was new one on me. And that's like, we both learning. And our son says something and you was like, we're always learning. You told him. Yeah. You know, mommy and daddy's always learning too. Yeah. You know, and our big giant son, who will be a full decade very soon. Yes. 10 years, man.
10 years.
And my wife, breastfed 3.5 years. I just need do an accolade show. Like the shit my wife do that a lot of other mommies that we know just wasn't able to do. You know, she is that bitch. And I don't mean to I'm not calling you out your name, but that's the lingo. You know what I'm saying? Yes. She's that woman. She is that one. And I gotta tell you, you know, I'm just very lucky. So
I'm lucky.
You better know it.
I know it.
No, I'm just playing. I'm the lucky one. No doubt. So let me read it just a little bit more about in my show notes here. So the opposite, here's the answer to the opposite of retrograde is direct or prograde motion. Okay. I hadn't read my notes. I printed them out, didn't read them. Prograde motion is the term astronomers prefer, while astrologers are more prone to use the term direct motion. So they show, you know, everybody thinks got to be a conflict. Astronomers versus astrologers. So for those that don't know, of course, astronomers are the scientific folks. Like you could take you can get a degree in astronomy, right? Astrology is like the Virgo, Taurus, you know, the signs, people that tell you what's going to happen. Okay. You know what I'm saying? So the difference between astronomy and astrology doesn't get much respect, people, but I think there's credibility in both. Like the James Webb telescope is out there now. It's sending back phenomenal pictures. As a matter of fact, one of the Mars rovers just captured the sound of meteors hitting Mars. Wow. The Mars rover. They supposedly don't have any video, but this is just the GP, right? General public, what they tell us. There's mad space shit going on that they don't tell us, that I think. And I know I digress, but I just had to mention that. You know what I'm saying?
All right.
So I'm fucked up for a month. That's basically what you're saying.
You're doing very well. You're handling it very well. I am impressed. And I'm very happy with my choice.
Impressed? You know, I mean, like, are you surprised? You think your man didn't have that in him? I'm from New York.
I knew, but
when you see it in action, right?
Because, you know, I think I would crumble if it was just me by myself in the situation.
No, I don't think so. You're a strong woman. So I don't think so. But I mean, a lot of dudes would have said they going to the store and never came back. You know what I'm saying? If y'all knew the shit that we was dealing with, and I say we, and that's definitely a we, wifey and I, you know, we weathering this storm, and this too shall pass. It can't pass fast the fucking enough. Yes. But if y'all knew what we was going through, the GoFundMe would be fully paid, or the PayPal would be paid. Like y'all would be like, OMG. But we ain't putting it out there. Check out the stress episode. Like I said, I'm not putting the personal out there. I'm not putting my burdens on you.
No, you're handling it. And that's part of the things that, you know, we talk about. The retrograde will throw fastballs at you, curveballs at you, and you have to handle it. You've been handling it very well. And things that you need to do in order to handle it, you know, diet is very important.
It really is. It really is. And I want to let you continue your thought process, but I need to just interject something. I couldn't do it without you.
And I couldn't do it. You know what I'm saying?
So knowing that I have you, that you got my back, that you ride or die with me.
Yeah.
So, I do this for us. So, I just want to let you.
I know that.
Let you know that.
I know what I have. So I will never go anywhere.
All right.
But I'm the chaser. You the runner.
No, I ain't running. You can't chase nobody. Ain't running here. Catch me. Okay. Catch me. I'm right here. Mm-hmm. I ain't took a step. So, yeah. Like my partner. Matter of fact, I'm not even gonna put his business out there. I'm not even gonna say nothing just in case other people be listening. I'm not gonna say nothing. So, but
moving on.
I had cut you off. You were saying something, and I'm sorry.
Yeah, well, no, just talking about the things that might happen during the retrograde. If you've been in a job that you have been thinking about leaving because you're not happy there, if it's very stressful, but you're there because of the paycheck, this is probably the time when you're either going to get fired or you're going to quit. Things like that. If you're in a relationship that you've been questioning for a long period of time, it's make or break time. You're either going to get left or leave. Those types of things are going to be happening during the retrograde. If you've got, health issues, it's going to either go up or down. So right now is the time to, be more active, pay more attention to the things that you're putting in your body. Make sure that you're getting enough rest. Letting go of bad habits. Okay. Or making the steps toward letting go of those habits.
Call 1-900 LUVNINA. That's 1-900-LOVE-NINA. My wife Nina clearly is an astrology expert. If you want a personal reading, $39.95 for 15 minutes. We will hook you up. She knows her shit. She really, let me tell you, my wife, y'all know, listen to other episodes, for the long time listeners, y'all already know. If you're a relatively new listener, let me tell you, my wife makes her own she makes our own toothpaste, deodorant, season the seeds, cycling, holistic. My wife is a witch. She's a good witch. But she be whipping up shit like I'll come out downstairs in the morning and I'll catch her just as she'll be throwing that last little ingredient. I see like a puff of smoke will come rise up out the bowl. I'm like, what you making? She said, oh, nothing. I'm like, so y'all know I ain't going nowhere because, I'm under the spell voluntarily, by the way. But she knows quite a bit, about this stuff. And the shit is real. I mean,
it's very real. If you have doubts about astrology, you can go into a police station and ask them when is their busiest, what days are their busiest, and they will tell you every time there's a full moon. Calls out the yin yang. You can talk to hospitals, emergency rooms, daycares. Mm-hmm. Anytime there's a full moon, it is chaos and anarchy in those places. And that's because the moon has an effect on us. Yeah. The moon has the ability to move the tides, and the ocean is vast. So if you just think about that alone, then, those gears should start turning. You're one human being on the planet, and the moon can pull the tide.
Made mostly of water.
And we are made of water.
So it affects us too.
Yes. It is very real.
The way you broke that down it just made me horny. I let you know that shit. You know what I'm saying? Not just because we sit next to each other, but I'm always horny for you like all the time. But I'm just saying the way you broke that down was very eloquent and very, very educated.
It's so real. I don't understand why people, make fun. Like, I have my crystals. I've got my smudge stick. If you smudge, you need to smudge. You need to smudge yourself, and you need to smudge your surroundings.
I wish you could see her hands
during this retrograde.
She's making smudging motions. And I just want to let y'all know, and I'll let my wife tell you. But the moon is a family member. What family member is the moon, dear?
What family member?
Yes, you always call the moon this. The moon is your sister.
Yeah.
That's what you always say. Sister Moon.
She is.
That's your sister. So she out there charging her rocks in the moonlight. The stones. They're not really rocks. These stones. You know
crystals.
what I'm saying? Crystals and stones. It is like a dream living with a woman like this, y'all. No arguments, no drama, happy. Even though her form of happiness is a little different than most. But, you know what I'm saying? But she's like holistic and in all of this stuff, and it's real stuff. Our third eye, I think, has been turned off by diet,
yes,
society, government. And there were ancient peoples that knew about astronomy and astrology and that created structures based on this stuff. Like the pyramids are aligned with Orion's belt. Mm-hmm. That shit is phenomenal.
Yes.
To me, when you really think about it. So, when you dive into this stuff, and I can't say we're not the deepest into it, right?
No, there's definitely, people more deep into the spectrum of it.
But that's all they do. That's what they do.
Yeah. Cause I know several women that have, these large cathedral size crystals all throughout their homes. And that would be great, but those are very expensive.
When you said that, I thought about Superman's Fortress of Solitude for some reason.
Yeah.
Yes,
there are people that have furniture made of these crystals, and that shit
gets a little pricey.
Yes.
Please support the show.
Yes.
We need large crystals.
But they it's not like poof, this stone is going to take all my stress away. It's very subtle, and you really have to live a certain way in order for you to notice the changes that are happening. I'll say that way. If
you're in tune and perceptive, like an accident, you have your windows closed, you don't really hear. An accident can just happen to your right. And because you're not looking in that direction, you don't know it ever happened.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But if you are tuned in, if you are focused and looking at that, then you know what's happening. So if you know the signs to look for, then you can tell these changes. Like right now, I learned just like y'all did, I'm going to be fucked up for the next 30 days. Okay. So if anything worse happened that happened in the last 3 weeks, well, really 2.5 months, I'm a strong man and I'm going to take it, but it's not going to be easy. Cause damn.
But, this is the time. This is make or break time. That's what it is basically. And, one of my, closest friends has been going through things too during this retrograde, and it's come down to, cutting people off. And if these people are not positive, if they're not, giving you positive energy, keep it moving. Basically, that's what it is.
I think I know who you're talking about. You can tell me off mic, off air.
Yes.
But I think I know who you're talking about. Yeah. So,
and this is the time when, those signs that I mentioned previously will be going through those types of things. And it's good. It's a shedding, if you will. Okay. And you're going to emerge more positive, and you're going to have good things in your future, and you're going to be rediscovering yourself, if that's something that you were trying to do.
Okay.
So
I have a question for the guru over there. Mm-hmm. Knowing me like you know me, your terribly freaky husband, how does this affect our sex life or people's sex lives? The retrograde.
Well, I
don't know if you've done the research on that.
I didn't look into that actually, but I can tell you that I feel a shift myself.
Really?
So, yeah.
Do we need to pause the show? What do we need to do? You know what? It's funny you should say that. Now that you say that, I have noticed a bit of a shift.
Yeah. It's like, for me, I feel
horny.
Okay. And a little more, I was going to say confident. So that makes me want to do more things. And
really?
Yeah.
Is that right?
Very much.
Oh, let's do more things. More things.
All the things.
All the things. Wow. Okay, well, so look, I was not a fan of the retrograde till you said that. Let's retrograde on. Yeah, retrograde might bring out a little something. Okay, but it's funny you should say it because I did.
Okay.
I did notice that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a good thing for me. I guess maybe that, lends to your going through it in your way and my way of helping.
Yeah, I'm always fucked up though, but that's fine.
Right.
Men always
temporary. It's temporary.
Shit. You mentioned the word woman when you talked about astrology, and a lot of you think of the most popular like psychics and astrologers astrologers, to give you astrology readings and horoscopes and stuff like that. The majority seem to be female. Why do you think that is?
I think that a lot of women, I guess, identify more with the moon. If you think about that, the moon is an orb, and I don't know why, but I tend to think of ovum and ovaries, and not to go too much into it, but women are very affected by the moons. Our reproductive systems are very affected by the moons.
Really?
So each moon, you're either preparing to make a baby, or I think you know what I'm getting at.
Your period. Is that what you're saying?
I wasn't going to say that.
You can say it. You bleed now.
Yes, I think that's why women, are more into it. And there are men that are very into astrology too. Like in groups the circles that I run in, there are men in those groups also. But they're
just trying to get laid. They're just trying to get laid. I'm just going to tell you right now.
That's all. Women.
That's all. They're just trying to get laid. So yeah. It's like, oh, this is a group I can join. It's many women. But for women, it's very real. When I started seed cycling, I noticed how very much I was affected. So I just dove in because it was undeniable. The thing that when you start paying attention to your body and things around you, it's almost like magnetic. So I just start collecting crystals, and if I hadn't bared witness to it, I wouldn't have believed it.
Right.
But my wife synced up her menstrual cycle with the moon. I'm not even
say all that.
Am I lying?
You are not.
Okay.
I was trying to say that without saying that.
No, say it. We grown. This ain't.
But yes, and I think that's why so many women are into astrology, because it's very much a real thing.
Yo, that shit is real. She synced up with the moon, yo. That shit is. Oh, it's full moon. It's that time. What? That's some real shit. And if she gets to take her seeds or whatever, then she gets thrown off. Yes. And I have to suffer. But that's a whole nother story. I have to suffer the wrath. I'm like, babe, do you realize you're a little extra? She goes, I missed my seeds yesterday.
Yes.
Yes.
It's real. It's so real.
So, when we talk about, I was talking about dudes getting laid. I was just thinking that, that'd be a great angle. You go into these groups and be like, yo, babe, the retrograde got me fucked up. I need some attention. You know what I'm saying? And they'll be like, I understand. Here's my vagina. That will make you feel better.
Vabbing.
No, that was something else. Vabbing. I don't know if y'all heard of this.
Weird.
This ain't got nothing to do with retrograde, but women are taking their vaginal secretions and putting it on their neck like perfume. If you have heard of any anything about that. I need to know more. Mike's Opinion Show at gmail.com. Shoot me an email, Mike's Opinion Show at gmail.com. You can also reach my wife through there as well. Hit us up on any of the socials, Mike's Opinion Podcast. We out there. You can crawl into the DMs, whatever, or shoot a public message. But have you, or do you vap?
No.
No, not you. I'm asking the people. I know you don't vap, or if you do, but I like the smell of you. So
I'm not doing
that. Would be
all
cool because, I can just stay down there all day. But anyway, I like the way you smell. I like your essence. I just put it like that. I love, so that's why I know that's one way you can, I think, tell compatibility. Like the caveman, right? They ain't know how to date. They ain't have no cafe or their phone. They just walked up and that's what dogs do, right? They smell that, but smell if you good for me.
You're so
That's
weird.
why I like your smell. I'm attracted to your smell. So that's just primal. That's just nature, So if we was back 300,000 years ago and I was just looking, and I saw you in the meadow and I come up and smell you. Like, yeah, I'm taking this one back to the cave, yo. I'm taking this one back. Jeez. So, but a little bit more about my notes. Backwards motion. Every planet in our solar system travels in the same direction in its journey around the sun. And none of them ever pause or turn back in the opposite direction. Yet all of them appear to do just that from time to time. So that retrograde makes it seem like they're going backwards.
Look like it. But what I read was that the speeds are actually changing. So when you think about that, when if you think about an older clock that has gears in it and the gears are always turning a certain way, if one of the gears slows down, then everything else is thrown off or not working. So just think about that in terms of the retrograde and how that would affect everything else.
Right. Because we are in a system, the solar system.
Yes.
And that's just, we're just a tiny fraction of the Milky Way galaxy. Right. There's all of these other solar systems, but our solar system with all of our planets, they are in like some kind of synchronicity.
Yes. So
that makes complete sense, what you're saying.
Yes.
So if one of them goes off, then, throws them off just a little bit. So check this out. Because of Earth's daily rotation, the objects in the night sky appear to move from east to west through the night sky. While the location of the stars relative to the Earth is fixed, at least from our vantage point, the other planets in our solar system all orbit the sun at varying speeds. So that just supports exactly what you just said.
Yeah.
So like the outer planets like Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, which you said we're in the Saturn retrograde right now.
Yeah.
Uranus, Neptune, they all take longer to orbit the sun than the Earth does because their orbits are larger. And because of this, the Earth often laps these planets in its journey around the sun.
Yeah.
When the Earth overtakes an outer planet, that planet appears to travel backward as compared to the stars for a time.
That gives you a visual then.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's just, and my followers and fans and supporters, again, thank you for being that. But they know I'm in awe of nature and of the planet. And, I want to know what's out there. I would love to travel space and time and see what's out there. But just in our solar system alone, you think about these celestial bodies that people don't even think about.
They don't. Too busy with the day to day. And, if you would just stop and notice little things. For example, we were on an outing not too long ago and, there was a squirrel that just walked up and sniffed us. It was the strangest thing because squirrels are usually very skittish.
Yeah.
And so we thought that was an isolated thing. But then maybe a week or two later, I took my son to the park.
Hold on,
another squirrel.
Our son? He is my son,
yes.
right?
But you weren't with us.
No, okay.
So I took him to the park, and another squirrel kind of walked up and looked. So I think that they're affected also by the retrograde.
Well, I gotta just tell a little bit more about that first outing that you were mentioning, because I was there.
Yes.
Ironically, we were at the planetarium.
Yes.
Or we were coming from the show at the planetarium. Born and raised in New York, one of the greatest planetariums on Earth, the Hayden Planetarium in New York City. I remember going on a school trip there. And when I found out, we're always looking for creative things to expose our son to.
Yeah.
And there was one here at one of the local colleges here. Of course, now, I'm from New York City, but I live in a suburb of Dallas. This was at the campus of UTA, I think it was, University of Texas at Arlington. And they have a planetarium there, and they put on shows. So we checked out the show, and I'll never forget my son's face. And he had his cousin with him. We took his cousin with him, they're the same age, basically, they're 3 months apart. And we walked to the planetarium, and his face was like, wow, and we watched the planetarium show, and they, talk about the constellations, stuff like that. But anyway, so we left the show, and we were walking to the car, and this is the first time this shit has ever happened to me in my life. I don't know if
Me too.
You too, right?
Yes.
On campus, all the squirrels were like, yo, what's up? You got something to eat? They would come up to you. They had no fear.
None.
Of humans. And it was I got it on video.
Yes.
And it was, and then when it happened, you told me it happened again at the park. I was like, what?
Yes.
And I'm like, what's going on?
And again after that. So I'm thinking, that should have not been surprising for me, because I was just talking about in this episode how the moon affects us. We're human, right. And squirrels are much smaller. So of course the animals will be also affected.
Yeah, but I don't know what celestial event was going on then, because this was months ago. So
I think that was Mercury.
Is retrograde always happening?
No, not always.
There's not always a
But I'm pretty
retrograde.
sure that was Mercury retrograde.
Okay. Well, I want to go back out there. The planetarium show was great. And I hate saying promotions to anybody for free, but that is what it is. So I wouldn't mind going to see the show again. But just to go out on the campus to see if those squirrels, if that was a fluke. Because I
don't think so. I think they will still be there.
Squirrels are skittish. They are. I was blown away.
Because we have squirrels in our yard that don't give us the time of day.
No, in fact, they throw acorns at us.
They do.
Literally.
Yes.
They used to they used to throw acorns at my dog. I mean, rest in peace, Sandy.
Yes.
I know I lost Sandy, but they throw shit at you. Literally, for real. So it's funny though. I would think biological organism has to be affected by this.
Yes, for sure.
Gotta be. These tides, flowers and plants and stuff like that.
And probably also why the pollen is kicking up like crazy. And allergies are getting so bad right now.
Well, me and son suffer from that, but we've got a bit of a way to tackle it, but it gets us more than others. But, when I think about this from a business perspective, my business mind is always going. I'm thinking, how can we capitalize on that, right?
Right.
How can we turn that into a business that helps people? We, have a retrograde calendar. We know the retrograde is coming, offer solutions to help to protect yourself.
Okay.
The retrograde protection program, the RPP,
yes.
The RPP.
That would be a good angle.
Right?
Yeah.
Right. The retrograde protection program. Sign up now. Protect yourself from the next
But you're
retrograde.
Telling everybody our idea.
Oh, no. I'll let it out the bag. No. This is recorded. It was heard here first. Yo, we either want to cut or we suing you. Don't get the retrograde protection program out there because we need to ramp it up real quick. RPP.com. Don't go there because I don't know what that is. That might send you to some adult site. Yeah. And that is not my intention. Well, Nina Christina, I love you, and I definitely
love you.
I thank you truly for joining me today. I love it when you take the time.
Thanks for having me.
Come. You're all guesty on me. Like you
Thanks for having me. Such a pleasure.
Oh God. Oh God.
Such a pleasure.
Dinner for schmucks. But before, go ahead and officially sign out, is there anything else you want to say about the retrograde or
just
anything?
Make sure you're active, whether it's walking or yoga. If you do yoga, if you're not a big exercise person, just do more things. You need to stay active. You need to watch what you're eating. You need to make sure you're hydrated. Make sure you're getting enough rest. These things will help you to handle whatever the retrograde is going to throw at you.
Okay. So. Great advice from a beautiful wife. And if you want to hear more from her, if you want her to do a personal reading or whatever, that's not what this show is about, but you are very well versed in this, and I'm pretty sure you will continue to acquire knowledge about this. But thanks again, kicking off season 5.
All the way live. First show of season 5. Thank you for being here. So as always, I always ask y'all, please support the show. And I didn't ask, as I always do, but how are you doing? I hope you're doing okay. Better than okay. In fact, I hope you're doing great out there. The retrograde might have us a little bit off kilter, off center, but now you know what to do to help combat that. But I hope you're okay out there. So do whatever you can to fight the retrograde and do your own research. Check it out. As always, I always say I'm going to put the links in the show notes from my research. I forget 50% of the time. Okay, 75% of the time. I forget to add those links, but I will try to remember today. So I hope you enjoyed the show. Thank you so much for listening. I'm Mike, and this is the Mike's Opinion Podcast. Thank you so much for listening to Mike's Opinion. Logic Unleashed.